Your 20s are a scam, and everyone's lying to you about it. Right now, while you're watching Netflix and scrolling TikTok, thinking you've got time to figure things out, there's a small group of people your age building empires. They're not smarter than you, they're not luckier, they just understand something you don't. The harsh reality is that most 20-somethings will spend the next decade repeating the same boring 6 months over and over. Don't be one of them. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how to break free from this cycle and use your 20s to build something incredible. Trap number 1, listening to the wrong people. My friend, you need to stop taking life advice from people whose lives you wouldn't want. The harsh truth is that the people living the life you actually dream of are just 1% of everyone you know. Everyone else is just projecting their own limitations onto you. When you tell someone about your big goals, they immediately say, be realistic. They push you toward the safe route, college, stable job, save money, index funds. Not because it's right for you, but because it's all they know. Their limitations become your ceiling only if you let them. I experienced this firsthand when I tried starting my first online business at 19. Everyone lost their minds. My family, friends, even my professors. They kept saying I was nuts. Just focus on school, they'd tell me. Get a real job first. Look, these people weren't trying to mess with me. They genuinely cared. But they were giving me advice based on how things worked back in their day, not how the world actually works now. The people with real freedom, money, and lifestyle you want, they all did the opposite. They took risks when others played it safe. They ignored conventional wisdom. They bet on themselves. Listen to people who've actually built the kind of life you want. If they haven't created the business, freedom, or lifestyle you're aiming for, their advice is just noise. Filter your advice sources ruthlessly. Your future depends on it. Your dreams are valid. Don't let other people's limitations become yours. Most advice comes from fear disguised as wisdom. When someone tells you, be realistic, they're often just protecting their own choices by keeping you small. Trap number 2, treating your youth like currency instead of investment capital. But bad advice is just the beginning. Most people treat their 20s like disposable income instead of the ultimate investment opportunity. They party every weekend, binge Netflix for hours, sleep until noon, then wonder why they feel completely stuck. I was the one partying in college too, but here's the difference. Even when I was out with friends, part of my mind was still working on my business idea, thinking about the skill I was learning or solving problems. The habits you form now become your default for life. While everyone else is waiting for the right time, you're already building momentum that compounds into your 30s and beyond. Your 20s aren't just about having fun, they're about building the foundation for everything that comes after. Every hour you put in now keeps paying you back for decades. Learn high-value skills. Start that side project. Read books instead of scrolling. Build relationships with people going somewhere. The friends who party every night will still be in the same spot 10 years from now, wondering what happened. Meanwhile, you'll have the freedom, income, and options they wish they had. Discipline in your 20s creates the life others dream about in their 30s. Every night, you choose growth over instant gratification compounds into years of advantage. The sacrifices that feel hard today become the foundation for the ease you'll enjoy tomorrow. There's a quiet tension between living in the moment and creating something lasting, and most people feel it more than they admit. Share your story in the comments. I'd love to know what it looked like when you started moving with real intention. The more we open up about this, the easier it becomes for others to find their balance too. Trap number 3, the job trap. Now comes the deadliest trap, the one that kills more dreams than fear or laziness ever could. I learned this when I was 16. If I got a regular job like everyone else, I'd end up with a regular life like everyone else. A job takes a third of your day, every day. That's 8 hours of your prime energy going toward building someone else's dream. You will come home completely drained, with just enough left to eat dinner and zone out in front of the TV. When exactly are you supposed to work on yourself? When do you pursue your own goals? I tested this theory when I was at summer internship. 4 months in, I watched my life force disappear day by day. I'd been hitting the gym consistently for 2 years, but suddenly I was skipping workouts because I was too tired after work. That's when I realized this system is designed to consume your prime years and energy, leaving you scraps to build your own future. The people with the lives you want figured out how to escape this trap early. They built income streams that didn't require trading their best hours for someone else's profit. Your energy and time are your most valuable assets. Don't sell them cheap. Now, I promised I'd show you how to escape these traps and actually use your 20s to build something extraordinary. These 4 strategies might seem intense, but they're exactly what separated me from my peers who are still stuck in the same patterns 3 years later. Rule number 1, set goals that scare you. My friend, pull out your phone right now. Open your notes app and write 10 goals, 10 years at the top. Now write down your 10 goals that make you physically uncomfortable to even think about, not get in shape or save money. I'm talking about goals your current self can barely comprehend, goals that would make your friends think you've completely lost it. When I was 20, making $200 a month from random freelance work, I set a goal to build an online business, replacing a full salary within 2 years. $4,000 plus per month seemed absolutely insane. But that impossible goal changed everything. Instead of applying to regular internships, I started reaching out to successful entrepreneurs. Instead of studying for tests, I'd forget. In 6 months, I spent time learning skills I could actually use. Here's the secret I wish I knew sooner. Your mind expands to match your goals. Set small goals and your thinking stays small, but aim for something extraordinary and you'll develop the mindset to achieve it. Trying to make an extra $500? You'll think of a small part-time job, maybe some tutoring, but aiming for $10,000 per month? Suddenly you're thinking systems, leverage, and scale. Uncomfortable goals force uncomfortable growth. They make you become someone completely different, someone capable of achieving what seemed impossible. Comfort zones are where dreams go to die, but discomfort zones are where legends are born. The person who can handle the hardest challenges gets access to the biggest rewards. Set goals that scare you. Your future self will thank you, but scary goals without income are just expensive dreams. The magic happens when you find that sweet spot where your biggest stretch goal also has a clear path to paying your bills. Dreams without strategy are just wishes, but strategy without dreams is just work. You need both the vision that excites you and the practical steps that sustain you along the way. Rule number 2, focus on making money. Yes, really. I'm not saying become obsessed with money for its own sake. I'm saying develop your financial skills because money touches every single decision you make. Most people have a completely broken relationship with money. They think wanting it makes them evil, believe they're incapable of making it, or convince themselves it doesn't matter. Then they wonder why they feel stressed, limited, and stuck. Making money is a skill, just like guitar or basketball. When money's on the line, everything changes. Your ego can't hide behind theory anymore. Fear hits you in the face. You get rejected, you fail, and you have no idea what's coming next. Most people run from this discomfort, but here's the truth. This is exactly why it works. You can't build real confidence from a book or a motivational video. You build it by doing the thing that scares you until your brain has enough evidence that you can handle it. I started my first real business at 21, helping local businesses with social media. Had no clue what I was doing, failed at least 5 different ideas before one generated consistent income. But each failure taught me crucial lessons about sales, marketing, customer service, and managing my psychology under pressure. Every failed attempt is actually market research that your successful competitors paid nothing for. I'm not some Instagram millionaire with rented Lamborghinis. That's fantasy marketing for most people our age. But I figured out how to make money without selling hours of my life. More importantly, I proved something to myself. I can solve problems people will pay for. Money isn't the point. Options are the point. When you can generate income independently, stress drops. You can help people who matter to you. You buy back your time to focus on what actually moves your life forward. Stop avoiding this because it feels scary. That fear is your brain's way of telling you this skill matters. While you're waiting to feel ready, other people are building the financial foundation that creates real freedom. You don't need to love money to respect what financial skills can do for your life. Ignore this and stay dependent on someone else's timeline forever. My friend, if you're still here, I know you're not just looking for surface-level motivation. You want the real stuff, the challenges, the breakthroughs, and the tools that actually work. That's what I share in my newsletter every week. It's personal, practical, and straight from my own journey. If that resonates, the link's down below. Rule number 3, self-actualize or self-sabotage. Every action you take either moves you toward the person you want to become or away from that person. There's no neutral ground, no just living life without consequences. Most people live like there's no compound effect to their daily choices. They chase what feels good right now and act shocked when their life adds up to nothing meaningful. Immediate pleasure wins over long-term progress every single time. Then they wonder why they feel stuck and directionless. I fell into this trap when my business hit its first real success. Money was coming in, so I got lazy. Started hitting snooze, skipping workouts, burning entire nights scrolling through videos. Each choice felt harmless by itself, but after 3 months, I felt like garbage, sluggish, uninspired, moving backward while thinking I was winning. Here's what nobody tells you. Success without systems is just a temporary high. Your daily habits are either building the person you want to become or eroding the progress you've already made. There's no neutral ground. The moment you stop doing what got you there, you start losing what you built. Small compromises compound, just like small wins do, except they compound in the wrong direction. My friend, your future self is watching every choice you make today. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, growth over pleasure, you're voting for who you want to become. Make choices your future self will thank you for. Rule number 4, build your network. Like your life depends on it. Your friends are programming your future, whether you realize it or not. The 5 people you spend the most time with aren't just influencing your weekend plans, they're setting your ceiling for what's possible. I figured this out when I stopped hanging with people who complained about Mondays and started talking to entrepreneurs building actual businesses. Suddenly, my conversation shifted from work sucks to what market are you attacking? My definition of normal completely rewired itself. Your current friend group feels comfortable because they validate your current level. But comfort kills growth. You need people who make your biggest dreams sound like reasonable Tuesday goals. Stop being the smartest person in the room. Be the hungriest person in rooms full of people who've already done what you're trying to do. Reach out to people whose work you respect. Offer value first. Ask for nothing. Your ego is expensive. It costs you mentors, opportunities, and faster growth. Successful people help those who help others, not those who just help themselves. Join communities where your crazy goals are just the baseline. The right relationships show you doors that didn't exist in your old reality. Here's what I wish someone had told me when I was 20. Your 20s will hurt either way. You can choose the pain of building something or the pain of watching everyone else build while you sit there. Growth pain hits you up front. Failed interviews, rejected pitches, nights wondering if you're delusional for trying. It's sharp, immediate, and over quickly. Stagnation pain is worse. It starts as a whisper at 22 when your college friend gets promoted. Gets louder at 25 when you're still making excuses. By 28, it's screaming that you wasted the most important decade of your life playing it safe. Both hurt. Only one builds something worth having. The question isn't whether you'll be uncomfortable. The question is whether that discomfort will buy you anything. Growth pain is like paying up front for something valuable. It hurts now, but compounds into skills, connections, and confidence you can use forever. Stagnation pain is like paying interest on a debt that only gets bigger. And the worst part is, you're not even buying anything with that suffering. The discomfort of trying and failing teaches you something new every time, while the discomfort of not trying just teaches you to be afraid. When you're going to hurt anyway, at least make sure the pain is building towards something instead of just eating away at your potential. Most people avoid this conversation because they already know the answer. Their future self would be quietly disappointed that so much potential was wasted on comfort and distraction. When I was 22, choosing between a safe internship and building my business, I forced myself to have this conversation. Would my 40-year-old self regret taking the safe path, or regret not betting on himself when the stakes were still low? The answer was obvious. My future self wouldn't remember the temporary discomfort of building something difficult, but he'd definitely remember the permanent regret of playing it safe when I had nothing to lose. Here's what your future self wants you to know. Every day in your comfort zone is a day they'll wish they could have back. Every skill you don't develop, every risk you don't take, it all compounds into a life of what if. But the beautiful part is every hard choice you make now, every time you pick growth over comfort, your future self is cheering you on. They're watching you build the foundation for the life they get to live. 20 years feels like forever when you're young, but ask anyone over 40, it goes by in a blink. When you blink and suddenly you're there, what will you have built? Your future self isn't some abstract concept. They're a real person whose quality of life depends entirely on the choices you make today. Don't let them down. The biggest lie our generation has been told is that your 20s are for figuring things out and finding yourself, as if you're supposed to wander around aimlessly until you stumble into your purpose. Let me tell you, you find yourself by doing things, not by thinking about doing things. You figure things out by taking action and adjusting based on what you learn. Every month you spend soul-searching without building anything is a month your competition spent learning real skills. Every year you spend in the same routine is a year you could have been failing forward. Action creates clarity faster than contemplation, and mistakes teach you what theories never could. The phone was clunky and basic before it became the revolutionary device we can't live without. The market rewards those who improve fast, not those who plan forever. I'm not saying you need to have everything figured out by 25. Actually, nobody ever does. I'm saying you need to be actively figuring things out through experimentation, not through endless planning and preparation. Real answers only come from testing your ideas in the world, not from thinking about them in your head. The person who tries 10 things and fails at 8 still knows more about what works than the person who spent that same time perfecting their plan. If you're watching this and recognizing yourself in some of these patterns, don't panic. The fact that you're even thinking about this stuff puts you ahead of most people your age. Start somewhere. Pick one area: fitness, finances, skills, relationships, and commit to making real progress over the next 3 months. Not perfect progress, just consistent progress. Self-awareness without action becomes self-torture. Recognize the patterns, then break them immediately. 3 months of focused effort beats 3 years of scattered attempts across multiple areas. Your unfair advantage: most people quit after 2 weeks expecting dramatic changes. You'll keep going when results aren't visible yet, understanding that real growth happens in the boring middle, when nothing seems to change, but everything actually is. If you found this video helpful, this next video right here will take you even further. Your choice, your life, start now.